Hello there, my name is Hannah. Welcome back to my book channel if you're new here. Hello. We are gonna do probably the most chaotic and shortest bookshelf tour that you will ever see on the internet, quite frankly. In comparison to people that have entire rooms filled with books, I don't have that yet. I aspire to one day have a room that has like a library wall, or a said library, who knows, maybe I'll win the lottery one day. So we're gonna just go through the chaotic mess that is my bookshelf behind me that you'll ever see, because there's like zero organisation whatsoever. Without further ado, let's get into my bookshelf tour. So we have the top shelf. On this top shelf there is a bunch of my boyfriend's books, because he's been staying with us for this last lockdown since like December, so he brought a bunch of books with him. He's yet to finish one book on his list of books that he's been reading. His choice of books they brought with him are Crime and Punishment by, I cannot pronounce this author's name, but we're just gonna let that slide. The Fox by Frederick Frost, or The Odyssey File, 2, and Man's Search for Meaning, and that I just didn't really fit up there is The Worlds of J.R.R. Tolkien, and quite a lot of this is in Oxfordshire, which is kind of exciting. Anyway, that's my boyfriend's books if you wanted to know it, but he's currently reading this one, so I've not really moved it. Hardbacks here. I have The Thursday Murder Club. We're not going to talk about that. I think I'm the only person on the planet that did not enjoy this book. We have The Switch by Beth O'Leary. The Guest List. Again, did not enjoy this book. Not a fan. There's a book review on my channel. I'll link it down below. One by One by Ruth Ware. I really want to read more books by Ruth Ware. It's the only one that I've read. Loved it, and my very number one book of last year, or the book that started my booktube channel actually, was He Started It by Samantha Downing. If you've never heard of her, you need to read My Lovely Wife and He Started It. She's got a book coming out in August in the UK, I believe. And it's called For Your Own Good, and I'm so excited to be able to read it. Of this one, again, I think some of these books that I do own, I feel like I just either follow a hype and I'm disappointed, or I really love it. You know, it's everyone. Everyone's opinion's different. Don't attack me if any of these books are your favourites. Then we have the collection of Agatha Christie. Anyway, this is the chaotic shelf. The Murder on the Orient Express, that belongs in here. We have these hardbacks should actually be up here, but they're not for some reason. Giovanna Fletcher. Some Kind of Wonderful. I love this book. I have a bunch of Jojo Moyes books. This is one of my favourite little collections by her. It's called Paris for One, and it's and Other Stories, and this is just a really beautiful story as well. Classics down here. I don't have an extensive collection of classics, but the ones I do have are some of my favourites, and I would highly recommend them. There is The Great Gatsby by S. Scott Fitzgerald. I love this cover. Penguin Classic. On the Road by Jack Kerouac. Again, highly recommend. I'm so excited to never have to read this book ever again, because I had no idea. I did not understand what was happening. Absolutely no organisation whatsoever on this shelf. This kind of corner here. This corner, we can say this corner is okay. I have Twilight, the Twilight series. I have Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, Breaking Dawn. I was about to say, where is the second Breaking Dawn book, and then realised, Hannah, there's only one book. The Hunger Games trilogy, Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. 5 out of 5. Highly recommend reading this one if you have never read if you have never read a classic before and you're interested and you want something that is, especially if you're a mystery fan. I have Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. Harriet Heisey's first book, which is called Blood Orange. I did a whole video on this. It was one of my first videos to get over 300 views, and it made me extremely happy. The third shelf, which is the most chaotic shelf you'll ever see. I feel that people are going to be angry at me for the state of my bookshelf. Here, which actually makes a lot of sense, and it will make a lot of sense by the time I have edited this bookshelf tour, because this here is my April to be read pile. So I just have some books by Colleen Hoover. I ended up with 3. Verity by Colin Hoover, 5 out of 5, highly recommend if you've never read anything by her. You just need to get on the hype train and read this, because I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Just go through this bit here and then we'll get to the ones that are at the back. So I have, which I did not enjoy, Sally Rooney. They don't really have a home, I didn't enjoy. Just personal preference, not really a fan. And this one isn't that well known. I would highly recommend if you are looking into Taylor Jenkins Reid. This book will make you cry. I'd advise a glass of champagne or a glass of wine, whatever your tipple is, and just read it. I read it in like 48 hours, loved it. Hardback that needs to be up here but it isn't for some reason. I have Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell, love that book. It has some kind of organisation, so I'm just gonna, you know, okay myself for that. A bunch of Lisa Joelle books, favourite thriller writers. She kind of got me right into reading thrillers again, and my favourite of hers that I have read so far is The Family Upstairs. We'll just place this in its place. This is And Then She Was Gone by Lisa Joelle. It's kind of annoying me that this book doesn't have like a coloured spine, because I feel like it's just gonna ruin the vibes. Moving on, then I have this random section here that just has, I guess it was meant to be blue and then I just gave up. So I have Paula Hawkins' Into the Water, The Christmas Killer, The Virgins of Us. I love this book, you need to read it. Did not enjoy that book at all. Never Saw You Coming, another book by Beth O'Leary. And then the only copy of Jane Austen that is like cloth bound that I own is Sense of Sensibility. It's one of my favourite books by Jane Austen, and honestly I've not read this in like years because, you know, I think as classics go they can be quite heavy to read. Not heavy in subject matter, I just mean if you've been reading contemporary or fiction, or the colour is blue, so this is why I own this one, which is Sense and Sense. All the right places. Hated it. It made me cry for pretty much an entire day after I finished reading it. So, you know, if you don't want that for yourself, don't read it. And we have to go on to the most chaotic shelf you've ever seen, because this makes absolutely zero sense. We're on to the last shelf. I have One of Us Is Lying by... My dog ate the cover of my book. That's no joke, that's a true story. So I have like centred around you know, troubled adolescents? That's not even a word. Troubled teenagers. Anyway, I think my favourite Nicholas Sparks is The Best of Me and A Safe Haven, but Anna Watersham. You know what, I just love a Nicholas Sparks moment, you know? Just one of those authors that if I completely like in a bad mood, and even the movies, if I'm completely in a bad mood and I've been miserable like the whole day, I will happily watch, what's the one with Zac Efron? The Lucky One. I'll happily watch those movies or read a book by Nicholas Sparks. Bookshelf is my little Sophie Mackenzie. I have this one which is, I think, published by Amazon. It's called It Had to Be You. I got this for Christmas, I haven't read it yet. Doesn't really belong there. But then I have, this is my most beloved book that I own. Oh my god, look how loved this book is. Do you see the pages are falling out? I literally like wrote, like the spine is broken, pages are falling out. If that is a sign of a beloved book, I can't tell you like how much I love this book. I think this is the first book that I read when I was like 13 or 14, maybe younger than that actually. And oh my god, I loved it so much. I would like do little this is embarrassing, but anyway, I'm just telling you. I would write little play snippets of this book and like act them out and show them to my sisters, and they'd be like, are you okay? Anyway, then this book was made into like some type of movie with like Taylor Lautner, I think, or it's based off this or some sort, I don't know. Anyway, this is my most beloved book that I own, and I don't think I'll ever get rid of it. And I adore this book. I don't know what else to tell you. Does anyone else have a book that you just generally are like reminded of like how much you loved reading when you were younger? And it's just so special because obviously I only really started rereading or reading properly last year in quarantine. So anyway, I found this in the back of my wardrobe and it made me so happy. Anyway, so there's Girl Missing, and then there is a bunch of others. There is Sister Missing. Whoa, there is Sister Missing. Blood Ties, which isn't to do with the YA author. She's just brilliant, like absolutely brilliant. The kind of pace that I read her books was like, I think I see Sophie Mackenzie as the younger adult Lisa Joelle. Does that make sense, if you know what I mean? Because Lisa Joelle's more for like adult over 20, I guess. I don't know how you have to be to read books, I guess. I don't know what the YA category falls into. Anyway, besides, this is my bookshelf tour. So I hope you guys enjoyed my bookshelf tour. If you did, you can subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, and let me know if you have a more chaotic bookshelf. I would love to know. Let me know if you've read any of these authors or you are interested in any of those. Those. What English am I talking right now? Anyway, yeah, let me know if you enjoyed this video. If you did, I shall see you in my next one, and thank you for watching. Bye.